Welcome in, and thank you for joining me in Niagara Falls, Canada. I'm always happy to bring this kind of a beautiful city to a live stream. I'm lucky enough to live here now and have for many years. We're only an hour and a half away from Toronto, where I was born, raised, grew up, and continue to work. So thanks for coming in. We're going to take a walk right across the tourist area of Niagara Falls up to Clifton Hill, where all the activity is, and you'll find all kinds of restaurants, games, attractions, and things like that. There likely will be a lot of people. We're experiencing a long weekend here in Canada, and there should be more people than typically you might normally see, if that makes any sense. So thank you for being here. Right now we're looking at the Canadian Falls, better known as the Horseshoe Falls. And if I pan for you, the camera a little bit, you're going to get a shot of the American Falls in a second as well. Now here they have this beautiful light show, obviously, that shines on both sets of the Niagara Falls. And Niagara Falls itself as a city is an energy provider. So it's kind of a fitting addition to the already beautiful Niagara Falls. Rena R., good to see you in the house. Thank you for coming in. Thank you, my love, Kristen Walton, and Corinne's Life and Michael's Adventure. Thank you, Michael's Adventures. Thank you both for being here early. So we're going to take a walk. I haven't put up a video in weeks or streamed in what is probably a month or longer now. So we'll see what happens with an audience trickling in. But I did want to get some activity happening on the channel. So thank you for joining me. We'll take a walk. It's going to be interesting to see, but when we start heading towards the busy Clifton Hill area where the attractions are, you'll notice that it's very, very dark. Where I'm standing right now, they've got a few lights around, and I think that's due to traffic, not to mention the restaurant and gift shops across the street there. But you will find areas you're going to see in a moment where it's extremely dark, and I think that that's so that they can really put the focus on the light show that happens here and the fireworks, which we're happy to have again in 2022. They weren't able to do those for a while. There's the Skyline Tower. That is a revolving restaurant at the top of that tower, and they do a fantastic job there. Kristen and I have gone there for a couple of occasions. So here's another look as we're walking at the American Falls. And if I'm right, I think it's July 29th today, right? And it's just after 11 p.m., probably 20 after 11 in the Eastern time zone. Ahead you can see the Niagara Skywheel, this enormous Ferris wheel. I think it's the largest in Canada. Is it 157 feet or something like that, or 117 feet? I forget all the details because I haven't been out for a while, but it's okay. You can fact check me and get get some corrections on those details. You can see that there are a couple of casinos in this town and a lot of hotels to go along with that. It is a gorgeous town, and I've done a lot of live streams here, both at night and in the day, so you get a great look at Niagara Falls, literally in all of its glory. This is where it's starting to get really dark, like I was talking about. Fanatic Guide, good to see you in the house. Thank you for coming in. Come hither with Heather. Thank you for joining. Scratch and PPA is, well, I'll leave the surprise for anybody that hasn't seen it, but Scratch and PPA has an interesting announcement on his channel if you wanted to head over there. Tina Brevard, good to see you in the house. Thank you for coming in. And I do appreciate every moment everybody can spend, even if you're just coming by quickly. You can see what I'm talking about how dark it is here. I'm using an iPhone 12 mini. And the reason why I'm using a mini is because it fits in the gimbal and doesn't put a lot of weight and therefore pressure on the motors, if that makes sense. But you can see the picture quality should be pretty good. Jeremy D-Day, good to see you in the house. Thank you for coming in. lots more people than we've seen in the last couple of years. I've brought a lot of live streams out in all seasons, and it's great to see summer and the activity back that we're used to. It's too late now to see the hornblower and the Maid of the Mist running, but if I look over the hill here, or over the wall, you can see down in the distance. I'll try to get a little closer to those vessels. We'll have a look. And there again is the beautiful American Falls. On the side there, the little blue piece, is the Bridal Veil Falls. It's its own little strip of water flow there. And then with our obstructed view, there's the Horseshoe Falls again. I'll give you a look at how many people are out here now. It's a lot different than the last time we were here. Popping the popcorn, good to see you here. Thank you for coming in. We'll keep walking. I don't really need to race today, so I'm going to try not to speed through this like I usually do. The other reason I wanted to come out, I really could use some exercise. I haven't been out nearly as much as I should. And one of the things we have to think about when live streaming is the heat, how it affects the camera. I've lost a stream at Canada's Wonderland just because it was so hot and I had to switch phones, and we picked it back up and everything. But now the temperature's dropped. It's very humid, but my guess is that we're probably sitting at 21, 22, 23 degrees Celsius right now. So not too bad at all. Rich Cat Ranch, good to see you here. Thank you for coming in. Yes, Fanatic Guide. It's time to pop the popcorn with Poppin' the Popcorn. That's Katie. She does movie reviews on her channel. Most of you already know each other here, but most of the people in the chat right this second have channels of their own, so feel free to meet with each other. Just be mindful, not every single person that comes through this channel will be from Tuber Chat. So they may not be well versed in the idea of visiting houses and leaving packages and all that fun stuff we like to say. We're coming up on the Rainbow Bridge. I'll give you a bit of a look at it right now. And we'll get closer. That's literally the border. That's where we drive across. I've probably crossed that somewhere between 150 and 200 times, but I lost count along the way. And then you're literally looking right now up over the falls at Niagara Falls, New York State. So these are the American Falls again. Isn't it interesting to see I always say the same thing, but you see the unbelievable force of the water falling there. Have Cheetah Will View, good to see you in the house. Thank you for coming in. Have Cheetah Will View is a longtime friend. A double live view tonight, Rich Cat Ranch? Yes. Gloria's Platter is a dear friend and has been for a very long time. She's live right now and will be raiding soon. She's doing some cooking. She does that often. But I did want to get started just because it's really late here. Like I said, we're like getting close to 11:30 or, you know, pushing towards midnight soon. And I wanted to get the stream started because it takes almost half an hour just to walk from the parking to where we usually park up to Clifton Hill, where all the real activity is. This is a beautiful view here. Obviously, there's lots, you know, even at night to enjoy. But when we get up to Clifton Hill, you're going to see it's pretty wild over there. There's a ton of attractions. You getting an idea of what I was talking about, how dark it is? They got so few lights, and I really do believe that that's to put the focus on the Niagara Falls and the light show that goes along with that. Connection of Lives and Interests, good to see you here. Thank you for coming in. They originally are a friend of Michael's Adventures who came into the Tuber Chat family, so thank you for coming and visiting over here as well. Big things happening this week. Nora, the Stock Explorer, hit 1,000 subscribers on their channel. Michael's Adventures hit 1,000 subscribers last week. Scratch and PPA has a very special video coming up on Tuesday, and a few days after that, Makeup Mom and Son will be celebrating her birthday. So we're very excited for a lot of other YouTubers to be celebrating milestones and different things on their channels. I did want to get some activity going here on this channel, and I appreciate everybody sticking with me because I haven't streamed in a little while. Hopefully I'll get back to more of it. The heat wave I'll use as an excuse, but now that we can come out at night and the temperature's been a little bit better this week than it has been the last month, it seems, I just wanted to get out and get something happening. A lot of celebrations down here. I was down here once. I guess it's many years ago now. I'm trying to imagine how many years ago it must have been, but 8, 9 years ago, something like that. And a couple of friends got engaged down here. They did the horse and carriage ride, and it was good stuff. Lots of that happens here. Niagara Falls, Canada is known as the honeymoon capital of the world. It's been featured in tons of TV shows and movies, things like that, including Superman, for those of you keeping score. Call me V as a fellow Canadian. Thank you for coming in. Coming up on the zip line. I was lucky enough to do that with Kristen and Kira a couple of summers ago. And what they do there is they won't allow you to film. So you can't like hold your phone or anything like I'm doing right now. But we were able to wear a GoPro. That is allowed. So what happens is I live stream the day or the, couple of hours leading up, and then the stream just goes black for, 10 minutes or something like that. Because they made me put my phone into a special backpack that they give you for your personal belongings. But because I was able to wear the GoPro in a separate video, we've got that couple of minutes. I think it takes 45 seconds. I forget if it's 45 seconds or just over a minute to go down the zip line, but we caught that. So you get a first-person view of what that's like in the middle of the day. They keep it running pretty late. Might have closed by now. I don't see any activity up there. I'm not sure if they close at 10 or 11 or when it might be. Probably because the fireworks, so they probably have to close before that. I don't know if there was fireworks today. They do it often, but we're a little bit behind on what the schedule is now. There was one summer before the pandemic that it seemed like it was happening every day. And then before that, it seemed to be 3 times a week. If I look back, again, that's the American Falls. They'll do a lot more with these lights, but we'll see that after. What we'll do is we'll go up Clifton Hill, which is where that Ferris wheel was. And then we'll look at all the activity up there, and then I'll walk back this way, but I'll try to keep the stream going so that we can see what else they do with the light show here. You see that, what looks like fog or smoke there? That's literally the mist that comes off the falls. And when the wind is blowing in the right direction, it literally feels like it's raining on you. We're getting closer to that Ferris wheel like I was talking about. There's the zipline tower. You can see the cages up at the top where they take off from. Actually, maybe we can walk through here, yeah? Okay. Sometimes they block this area off, but it's a bit of a shortcut so that we can keep our beautiful view while we continue walking. Peter Dell, good to see you in the house. Thank you for coming in. Peter Dell's from Australia. If you can see, so we're looking at the Horseshoe Falls, obviously some beautiful hotels. There's a Skyline Tower again in the top right there. But if you look down, I'm going to try to place this in the bottom center of the screen. That's the platform where the zip line ends. And if I scroll, pan up here, you might be able to see the lines. I don't know if you can see those wires or not. We'll continue our walk. Tons of people taking all kinds of selfies and videos. I'm sure there's streamers out. All the different platforms are going to have all kinds of content this summer, finally. They give us a lot of lookout opportunity here. I kept walking by them, but they've got those binocular things. You can put a $1 or $2 in those. I think it's a toonie that it takes. In Canada, we have a $2 coin and a $1 coin. On the $1 coin, there's a etching or a picture of a loon. So they're lovingly known as loonies. And then because the $2 coin is worth $2, we call them tooties. But if you put one of those in here, you get a nice close-up view, as you can see. Rich Cat Ranch, yes, the falls are open to the public year-round. The only exception is when they're doing construction and things like that. They just block off areas from walking. But you can always see it. The light show's always there. And then the attractions, they'll choose whether they want to open or close based on what they expect as far as how many tourists will be coming through. This city relies very heavily on tourism, as you can imagine, but it was designed that way. Now, I didn't go downstairs. They always block this off at night, but I'll show you something here where I am in this lookout area. You see the zipline tower there, and downstairs there's a restaurant to the left and a gift shop to the right and some other small things in there. But we've been in there before. If you wanted to go back and have another look at a past live stream. I like coming out different times of the year, and now it's been a few years, you know, that I've been not only living here but streaming, so we get to see some changes. And faster than I thought, we're at the Clifton Hill area. Once I saw a performer here on this corner, but it might be a little bit late for that today. I was hoping we would see Gypsy Luciano out here, but I haven't seen him this year. In all fairness, I haven't been out enough, but he performs here. He's got a YouTube channel of his own. Getting an idea already of the kind of activity we're about to walk into. Oh, and there's all kinds of stuff here, literally, from restaurants to every kind of snack and junk food you can imagine. Gift shops everywhere. Hard Rock Cafe is to the right down the street a little bit. There's a huge Hershey store. We've been in there. Of course, you got your franchises mixed in. There's Starbucks coffee. There's a Burger King we'll see soon. There's even a Harley Davidson store. We'll have a look at that when we cross by it. Derek's Journey, good to see you here. Thank you for coming in. Glorious Platter, thank you for the raid. All that fluff and stuff, thank you for coming in. Thank you for anybody coming in from Glorious Platter's channel. Mike Fammy, good to see you in the house. Thank you for coming in. The Gathering Within is another fellow Canadian. It's good to see you here. Thank you for coming in. Gotta watch it. I like to walk on the road here.
how we can get more money. I'm just showing you.
It's so nice to finally see activity here. So there's lots of people, but it's not overwhelming. Of course, it's almost midnight, right? So you wouldn't expect it to be crazy, but I'm almost crashing into people. Lots of copyright music to get the stream blocked after we're done. Nate Vlog, good to see you here. You know, Nate Vlog has been with myself and Jeff Lepard from the beginning, probably 3 years. And Nate Vlog, it's wonderful to see you here. Most of the creators here in the chat have channels of their own, so I hope everybody will connect with each other. There'll be a few people that will come through that don't run channels the way that most of us do, so just be mindful of that. But it's great to see so many of our Tuber Chat family here, so thank you all for following me here on this channel as well. Some of you who've been with me several times before have heard a lot of the same stories. Cheers. But when I talk about this area, first of all, you see the snacks and things. There's ice cream. We'll see tons of ice cream. Games. But this is the Wax Museum. And this was a bit of an interesting story here, because when I called down, I wanted to kind of be cool about it, right? And say, hey, I'm a YouTube live streamer. I'm going to come down and film. Is that okay? So not only were they accommodating, but they actually let me talk to, I believe it was the director of marketing at the time. His name was Koo. And he joined us and said, hey, I'll do better than let you just film. Why don't I come down and I'll do the video with you? And it was really, really cool because we got to go all through the Wax Museum and see a lot of the things that they had in there. Let me just give you a look at an example of what we'd find inside. And they change up the attractions inside here often. So that was really cool, and I made a separate video for that, so you'll see that. Stock Explorer's in the house. Good to see you here. I was just talking about Nora. The Stock Explorer hit 1,000 subscribers. So you get an idea of what I'm talking about. And things are much different even than the last time I was here. They've got, you know, like look at this arcade. It's all open now. For those of you who are here with me, the last time or before that, they'd have the doors shut. We had to just peek in the window and stuff. Arcades have sure changed over the years, eh? When I was a kid, I was happy to do chores for my parents and get an allowance, but places like this are where it all went. This is our first time walking around in here like this, being able to stream, so this is really cool. Hopefully we don't get thrown out, but we'll see. Pardon me. It's been a while since I've played in an arcade like this. A lot of games I'm not even familiar with now. Oh, and there's our prize redemption wall. The Great Canadian Midway. So I'm sure most of you know how that works, but you play a lot of these games and it gives you tickets when you win or score, things like that. And then you can redeem those tickets for prizes. They got stuffed animals and all kinds of cool stuff over there. Oh, look, Disney Crossy Road. Some of you might even have that on your phone. They got an interesting thing here that we can get. So the Fun Pass, look at all of the attractions that gives you. For 30 Canadian dollars, oh no, sorry, it's saved $30. Oh, I'm not sure how much it is right now. They changed the price. But I forget if it's $29.99 or $19.99 or whatever it is. But it's well worth it because they give you, I think, 6 attractions plus the Skywheel. A ticket for that you can go on. We've done a lot of streams of a lot of this stuff, so if you wanted to see that, I hope you'll subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and then go back and check some of those out when you have time. This is one place I have spent lots and lots and lots of time hanging out at, and this is where they make the fudge in the Fudge Shop. They got all kinds of candy and everything else in here as well. Oh, look at this, we're just in time. They put that out on the marble table so that it can kind of cool. It takes a little bit of time, and then they'll start working it with their tools and eventually turn it into bricks of fudge like you see on the right there. Batman game probably in there. I ran through there pretty quick. Saw Pac-Man. I'm not sure about the CNE, Mike Fammy, maybe. It's been a couple of years, right? So it would be a good idea. Penny Parlors says all that fluff and stuff. That's interesting. The old arcade near the Eaton Center. Mike Fammy's a fellow Canadian, literally from Toronto. Eventually we'll meet up. Actually saw him just a month ago, I think, something like that, off cam. Yeah, asked to lick the fudge bowl. Can I have the spoon? And then check out this candy shop. This is out of control. Macaroons, and that is a very extravagant bunch of candy apples there. All kinds of chocolate covered deliciousness everywhere here. But the diet starts on Monday, so we're here to look but not touch today. Cotton candy and all kinds of popcorn and stuff, and then lots of toys and things as well. Of course, Canadian maple syrup over there. These guys will, of course, allow you to watch while they make the fudge and things like that. We've seen it many times, so I'll just keep walking for today. But you will probably see it again. You can head to any of my previous live streams. You'll probably see it 3 or 4 times. So I was talking about all kinds of snacks and junk food and ice cream and everything else. And you can see there's even more here right beside the Fudge Shop. Boston Pizza is a huge franchise. That's your friend from Dragon's Den there that owns all of that, if I understand right. The unbelievably impressive Niagara Skywheel. Yeah, there you go, Mike Fammy. The diet has started every Monday for me since I turned about 20. What is it that smokers sometimes say? Quitting smoking's the easiest thing I've ever done. I've done it hundreds of times. And same as me and chocolate and everything else. Look at how unbelievably enormous this is. But again, I'm just so happy to see so many people out having a good time. You can imagine the whole area was just, I don't know, not quite empty, but the closest thing to it for a long time. This is what it's supposed to look like. CC Coder, good to see you in the house. Thanks for coming in. Travel Fun 69 is in the house as well. That's Jeff Lepard. Some of you may know that half of my full-time gig is doing social media and running YouTube channels for others. Jeff has 4 channels. That's one of them. He's got over 60,000 subscribers on that channel now. He's right now in Ottawa, so we can expect a stream from him this weekend as well, probably Saturday night. And I expect him to meet up with at least one, if not more, YouTubers while he's there. I love collaborations, right? Getting an idea of how much activity there really is around here. Yes, Rich Cat Ranch. So not for a couple of years, but considering this is a long weekend, then yeah, like I said, this is exactly what it's supposed to look like. So I'm not sure how late everything runs. I'll assume that midnight is probably a closing time for some of the places. Now, our liquor licenses allow us to serve until 2 a.m. So places like this here, Kelsey's, which is another franchise or chain, will be going, and any other bars and some restaurants might go until 1 or 2 and beyond. Now this, the Niagara Speedway, is a Mario Kart inspired go-kart track, if you can imagine. Kristen and I still haven't been on it yet. If you ever wanted to see the difference between a private construction project and a government-run construction project, this thing was put up within months, not 15 years, or whatever it otherwise might take. You can see how cool this go-kart track is. They're coming down this loop in a second. Lily, good to see you in the house. Thank you for coming in. Now this street, I usually don't go any farther up this way, but this street continues on and on and on and on and on. There's hotels and restaurants and gift shops and other occasional attractions. But this is the core area. And you get an idea of what I was talking about here, where we've got mom and pop shops and independent restaurants mixed in with franchises and tons of gift shops and hotels kind of tucked away in there also. I'm going to head back over to a busier area. I'll show you where Ripley's, believe it or not, seems to own half the block. It was really interesting to see Kelsey's. This place here is just a restaurant. It's, you know, similar to Jack Astor's or Montana's, or, you know, these are Canadian franchises or chains. I'm not sure how many of these extend into the States or anywhere else. But Kelsey's is a popular one, but they were able to keep all of this open through most of the last 2.5 years. If you can imagine, that was quite a feat, and I don't know how exactly they managed to get away with that, except for the fact that because the doors open, I guess they were able to claim it as an outdoor patio. Maybe they got some kind of exception to the rule or something like that, because most places were just closed and that was it. So we're up at the top of Clifton Hill again. I just went around that block so you could see some of the other stuff. If we keep going up the street, there's a couple more restaurants and things. And if we continue down here, you'll see a few more gift shops and cool things as well. This is where Kristen and I went and got those photos taken with the outfits and things like that. They're like those sepia tone, if that's how you pronounce that, photos that make it look like the Old West or something like that. Those are fun. Not sure about Merlin Entertainment, the Stock Explorer. That name sounds familiar to me, but I don't know if that's here. And you'll see what I mean. So here's Ripley's Selfie Studio. I should go in there and see what on earth that is. I haven't been in 99% of the places here. And then there's Ripley's Believe It or Not. They own all kinds of stuff here. Oh, look at this. Yeah, they got all kinds of stuff in here. I'm not sure exactly what you do inside here, but... Hi, how are you? I'm live on YouTube. You want to say hello or no? No? Okay, that's okay. That's okay. It's better to always ask, right? Not everybody wants to talk. I'll figure that out at some point. Maybe go in there. See what I mean about all the attractions. Beaver tails is something that apparently is Canadian. So this is a interesting type of pastry. Let me see if I can get a look at one of these things somewhere. It's just a flat piece of pastry like this, meant to look like a beaver tail, and they put all kinds of stuff on there. Lots of different flavors and things like that. We've had those. Those are often in a lot of the popular tourist areas. When you get that fun pass, one of the things that you get is a ticket for mini golf, and you can go to this Wizards Golf or the Dinosaur Golf behind it. Those putt-putt mini golf courses. A few more restaurants and things here. I don't know if you can see off in the distance, there's an upside down house. It's another attraction. Sarah M., good to see you in the house. Thank you for coming in. Hopefully I haven't missed anybody. As long as everybody's still active, we should get around to everybody. But I do appreciate every moment everybody can spend as well. Canada Trading Company. Now that's just a huge gift shop, but they've got like everything in there. Everything. We've been there also. Good news about coming out at this time is there's people everywhere, but it's not overwhelming, right? You're not like fighting to get through a crowd or anything like that, obviously. And we're right across the street here from where we were just a few minutes ago. I haven't been bowling in a long time either. So I did tell you we'd see the Harley Davidson store. Oh! But that's changed. Oh, wow. Did they move it? Can I not see it right in front of me? The Harley Davidson store was right here. Oh, goodness. I don't know if that's live music. It might be. Some of the places... Oh, yeah, there you go. It is live music. Some of the places will have live, and there'll be probably DJs in some of the bigger bars, I'm guessing. I think there's a couple of places here. I'm not sure how many anymore. There used to be a really popular nightclub here called Rumors. It was around for decades, and it's not there anymore. Ripley's took over the building. Maybe the lease was up or something like that. Oh, Chris Hales, is doing karaoke night there. Oh, Christy Hales is a friend of Kristen's. Makes sense. Yeah, you expect like all the standard types of entertainment you would expect in like any city of any size would be in this area, let alone like Niagara Falls is a bigger city than it seems, because I'm in just literally a 1 block radius here where all the activity is. I didn't come out like planning to do a very extended long stream today, but we will show a little bit more of what's available everywhere. But it starts to space out because this town is on the water, somewhat shaped like a horseshoe. So all of the heavy tourist area is close to the water, and then a lot of the locals will just circle the outskirts, if that makes sense. I say outskirts, but that's not accurate. I just mean the outer half of the city, let's say. Good thing about Niagara Falls, I'm showing my age here, is that you can get everywhere within 15 minutes. Like, there's no traffic. Traffic here is not anything like it is in somewhere like Toronto or another huge city like that. You can actually go places and not have disasters. It's amazing the things we appreciate. Yes, Michael Kaufman, good to see you in the house. That's a dear friend of mine from Buffalo, New York. And he actually, I think he's in Florida now. Was it Tennessee? Forgive me. Sorry, Michael. He's been with me for some of those trips. When I talk about how many times I crossed the border, he's come out with me to New England when I was a crazy, silly, fresh DJ and playing a lot of parties, especially in New England, but really all over the northeastern United States. But thank you for coming in. Michael's supported ever since I've started my channel. So we're heading back down towards the falls now, and we'll have a look at what they're doing with the light show on the falls. I'll start heading back to where we started from. Like I said, today I wasn't going to come out for hours or anything like that. I just wanted to get like maybe an hour streaming and get some activity happening on the channel. I have been away for a while. I use every excuse in the book not to film, not to stream, regardless of what I say on the other channel. But Kristen's been doing a lot of work at our place too to get a room ready for us so that we can do some more filming and be a little more excited about the backgrounds that we have and the workspace and things like that, if that makes sense. Mike Coben, good to see you here. Wild Mushroom sounds like a name I would remember or something that is familiar, but I can't think for the life of me where that might have been. Considering I've lived now in Niagara Falls for 6 years, you would think that I would be a little more versed in everything that goes on. But I think it's, a lesson that never seems to get learned is that tomorrow is not promised. So I often will be like, you want to go do something? I don't know. We can always go next week. We can always go next month. And all of a sudden, weeks turn into months, months turn into years, and you find yourself saying, I haven't gone to half the places that are available around here. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. I really do appreciate every moment everybody can spend. Get an idea off in the distance there. A lot of the bigger hotels, but there are hotels scattered everywhere here. No beaver tails today, the Stock Explorer. I took off already. I'm long gone from where any of that stuff is. We'll do it another time though. When I come out for a longer stream, then we'll get some horrible food that I shouldn't eat, and I'll use the word diet while I do it and talk about working out and things like that, things I don't do. I'll bring us back to a good lookout area where we can see the Niagara Falls again. You'll get an idea of how these lights end up looking on everything. They got different light shows, right? So it changes, but it's really become something over the last many years. There's a Skyline Tower that I love talking about. Yeah, still lots and lots of people out.
One dead.
There's the American Falls in front of us. Of course, as soon as I walk up here, they just put it on white. It's just sitting there. It was flashing a minute ago. I saw different colors. There we go. Sarah, I'm still in the house. Makeup Mom and Son, thanks for coming in. It's her birthday this week. It's coming up. There you go. Yeah, Mike Fammy. I lived in Toronto. Like, I grew up, was born, raised in Toronto, and I love going downtown. I spent way too much time downtown, but I never spent a lot of time in the eastern or northeastern areas of Toronto, like Scarborough. I just don't know anything out there. So when people will say things like, "Oh, do you remember this famous, place that's got some food or something like that?" I don't know what they're talking about. But downtown, a lot of the things I know. Of course, we did lose 2.5 years of not being able to do very much as far as restaurants and things like that. Some of our places are gone. My favorite breakfast place is gone. We actually had a meetup with another YouTuber over there. You see again what I was talking about in the beginning of the stream. It's so dark here. They don't put a lot of lighting. My guess is that that's so that we can focus on the light show on the falls, but it's just a guess. And another cool thing that they do here is they color these Niagara Falls both based on different types of issues of awareness, if that's any decent way of putting it. So, like, for instance, March 26th is Purple Day. It's known as a day to bring awareness to epilepsy. So a lot of the landmarks around the world actually will color themselves purple for that day. And like all the different ribbons that we have for different causes and things like that. A lot of them will do that too. Thank you again for the raid, Gloria's Platter. If you didn't happen to see what she was doing right before we went on, she was cooking. She does a lot of cooking live streams. What I love about what Gloria's Platter's doing on her channel is that she really puts a lot of consideration into preparing. So when you visit her, you do get to see the dishes made from beginning to end, but there's no waiting in between. Yeah, it's starting to thin out down here now as far as crowd goes, because all the activities back up there in Clifton Hill where we were, and this is just where we look out into the Niagara Falls. You can imagine the views from those rooms in the hotels though too, right? I forget how they've renamed it now, but the Caribbean Festival is here in Toronto this weekend, or up in Toronto, an hour and a half away from where we are. And then Veld Music Festival, which is a really huge electronic dance music festival. It's all big DJs and trance and house and all that other stuff. And I don't know if this is accurate, but I heard that it's $25,000 for a bottle service booth. 25,000 Canadian still turns into almost 20,000 American. So it's quite a group I'd have to put together to ever think about something like that. Jess, good to see you in the house. Thank you for coming in. Hopefully I haven't missed anybody. It's easier for us to see the American Falls while I walk. But you're getting an idea now. There's literally like not a lot of people around compared to what there was just an hour ago. Oh, there we go. Now the lights are really moving. I've always been fascinated by lighting. Like, so even as a kid, when I was in junior school, let's say, or what we call middle school here, grade 6 to 8, we'd start having these school dances, right? They'd have a DJ come and put up these huge speakers and a bunch of lights flashing all over the place. And I was just mesmerized by that stuff, but it doesn't cease to amaze me now. The tourism board. You know, I am very, very, very lucky to live in such a beautiful place that happens to be a tourist town. And that was by accident. You know, that was before the YouTube journey had begun, that this decision was made to come and live here. But I have said from the very beginning and before that anybody can have a YouTube channel about their own city, no matter how big or small, because, you know, in the big cities there's lots of different streamers. Like, you know, Toronto's a world-class city with a population in the millions, so of course there's tons of streamers and they're doing well. Some of them are doing really well, but even in a smaller town, you can be the number 1, number 2, or number 3 YouTuber in your town. Why couldn't you be, right? People are always going to be searching. You know, they need to know where to stay. They need to know where to eat. They need to know what's happening. It's just a thought, but it's one of those anybody could type speeches that I like to give. Makeup Mom and Son hopefully will be up here eventually. No lights 58 years ago, says Lily. I still have a lot to learn here. Oh, that's cool. Now we're looking at the Horseshoe Falls. Those are the Canadian ones. Rich New Design is living in a small town. Maybe not that small. I disclaim myself often by saying not that I'm right. I'm just saying it's a thought. But I think so. I absolutely do. And when you think about this, there are a lot more people in the world searching for Toronto or Niagara Falls than there are searching for Windsor, Ontario, or Hamilton, Ontario, or Orillia, Ontario. And these are, you know, still major cities, but Hamilton has an international airport. I'm not sure if Windsor does. But why couldn't somebody be? You know what town I love? I don't know if Michael Kaufman's still in the chat. Batavia. And I know I pronounce that differently than everybody who lives there. This is a town in between Niagara Falls and Rochester in Upper New York State. And when I used to go down there for my trips to DJ and this and that, whenever possible, I would love to stay in Batavia, and there's no reason why. No reason at all. And I had said, one of these days, if I ever had dual citizenship or a reason to move to America, Batavia would be home. But it's definitely a warm and welcoming, smaller town than Buffalo or Rochester or Syracuse or any of those. I miss my trips down the Scajaquada Expressway. Hamilton in the house, yes. Hamilton is a larger town, I don't even know what the definition is of small town anymore. Some of the places that were small towns when I was a young adult are now no longer considered small. But Hamilton's always been a major steel town, a major producer, and part of our economic engine, I believe, in Canada. We passed through Hamilton to get to Toronto. Yes, Rich Cat Ranch. That could be cool. Look at the TV show Cribs. People love seeing that stuff. We got a few areas like that around Toronto as well. I'm sure there's areas like that everywhere, but they come to mind. You see what I mean now? Because we got a few lights around here. They're sporadic. They're, just a few here, and then you see into the darkness there. But there's still people around, a lot less than earlier. They really do some creative things with those lights. Thanks everybody for hanging out. If you haven't subscribed, I hope you will. I hope to bring you much more of this and some more entertaining live streams in the coming weeks and months. And then if you haven't already given a thumbs up and you're on a phone, I know you have to turn the chat off to do that, but it really does help. So I'll appreciate those thumbs up as well. Bit of a calmer live stream than some. But I wanted to get out because I haven't been out for a while and wanted to catch this before things get too different. It's great that it's a long weekend. We got more people than we otherwise might have had, but finally being able to give you a look at Niagara Falls the way I would like for you to see it. Lots of activity, people having a good time, friends, families, and all that stuff, and can't beat the views. If you're watching and haven't come into the chat yet, I hope you will. We got a lot of familiar faces here. Okay, thank you, Sarah. Yes, rich new design. Lots of people need a vacation. I forget who said it to me today that I need to take a day off. I wouldn't know what to do with a day off if I had one. I always have to be doing two things at a time, it seems. building, whether you can make out the casino word on the top with the huge LED on the top of it. That's Casino Seneca Niagara. Just looking back at where we came from, where the Ferris wheel is. That's that whole Clifton Hill area. Skyline Tower that I always mention. All those people in no trouble. Yeah, it's unfortunate when negativity does happen, but I mean, Niagara Falls is a pretty calm idea of a place. Lots of activity up there on Clifton Hill, but not a lot of reason for people to be snapping and other things like that. One of the things I'm always cautious of now, and these are things you learn as you get a little bit older, right, is that on holidays, especially Canada Day, but a lot of holidays, you just want to beware of some of the places where people might have been drinking all day. You know, there's nothing wrong with people going out having fun and possibly having a drink or two or three or whatever they're going to do, right? But the angry drunk activity usually seems to happen after hours upon hours of drinking, right? So that's the only thing I'd be cautious of. But walking into any restaurant or bar, I just look around and see if there's any of that activity. It's illegal to overserve here, so if somebody starts to look like they've got a buzz on, you're supposed to stop serving as either a waitress, bartender, server, waiter, any of that stuff, right? I'd like to think that most people do a good job, so it's not too much of a concern. There's the LED panels that light those falls. Hilda DC, good to see you here. Thank you for coming in. Look at these hotels. You can't get a great look. There's so many trees around here. They've all matured and everything. The building where we're headed is called Table Rock, and they've got a restaurant in there, gift shop, and all that stuff. They did a good job. We went there for a lunch. We did a stream while we did that one day. The boats don't run at night. Rich Cat Ranch. I'm not sure how late they go, but there's got to be safety issues there and things like that. We still haven't done that. I'm hoping to do that. They got other attractions here. You know, it's an unfortunate story. So for one Valentine's Day, Kristen knows that I have I don't know much about them. I want to say I love helicopters. I don't love them in the traditional sense, like that, you know, somebody who's a fanatic or something like that. It's a hobby. It's certainly not. I just like the idea of it, right? But, you know, I see helicopters. I had imagined for a while there that I would like to spend my, let's say, 55 to 65 years flying helicopters, right? Maybe doing tours or something else. But anyway, it's just a thought. But knowing this, Kristen, for a Valentine's Day, took me for a helicopter ride. But I was so excited and new to the YouTube game that I was so nervous. I was like, I can't film. I'm too excited. I can't enjoy this and film at the same time. Now, years later, we could, because first of all, we've done it once, but secondly, you know, we're a little more versed in the live streaming game and stuff like that, so we'd be able to do both. But it's too bad. We got a couple of photos, but yeah, Makeup Mom and Son was dealing with some much hotter weather than we were here. Yeah, it sure is gorgeous what they can do with these lights on the Niagara Falls here. I love coming out here, but I'm also happy to have this exercise too. Saw the doctor recently, just out of a routine checkup type thing, and the results came back and he says you should walk a bit. I thought that's incredible. All right, so I'm not in the worst shape you've ever seen, but I should do a bit of this. So it's a great idea. Like I said, I like to do 2 or 3 things at a time, but you know, the idea of getting exercise, having this gorgeous view, and being able to live stream and share it is a good idea as well. So thank you everybody for hanging out. I really do appreciate every moment everybody has spent. If you haven't already given a thumbs up, I hope you will. I've got the live redirect here set to our copyright-free music channel. So for those of you who haven't seen that, I got another channel that's got all the same music that you hear in the background of Tuber Chat and other things, like Gloria's Platter was using that on her live stream today. And there's a virtual 24-hour live stream that runs over there, so you can feel free to hang out there. We got a video game going, and there'll be a few people in and out trickling that will keep for some conversation, and you can make some friends over there as well. But I really do appreciate everybody hanging out. I'm happy I could bring this to you, so thank you for keeping me company. I'll try to get out here soon again. Oh, Rich Cat Ranch. The music is what they call ghost produced. There are people in the world who are very talented at producing music, but not so much versed in the idea of marketing and selling and things like that. So what they do is they produce music and sell it to other people to be able to put out in either the way I'm doing it or other people. So you're able to publish it on all the major platforms and stuff like that. Thank you, Donut Toys and Games, for being here. So I don't know if that makes sense. It's like a ghost writer for a book. A lot of times a famous writer will hire a ghost writer, and it's not that the ghost writer's writing the whole book. It's just that they're doing the major writing and editing, if I understand right. I'm not even saying I'm right there. With ghost produced music, so I'm basically just paying producers for music that I now own the rights to. But I own it free and clear, so you see it everywhere. I've put them out on Spotify and Amazon and Deezer and Tidal and TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and all that kind of stuff. You'll notice the music's always in the Instagram stories that I put out every day for Tuber Chat, because it's available for that. Eventually I hope to do tutorials to help everybody with that, but that collection's growing. Like I said, there's a 24-hour live stream running over there, a virtual one. So I'll let everybody head over there now if you want. You can see what on earth I'm talking about. Let me get a link just in case we don't redirect over there. Live redirect works when you have autoplay on, but if you don't, then it may not send you, and you'll just be presented with a link to click. Pardon me while I whip through screens here. I have another phone. This makes it really easy to keep up with the chat. Oh, thank you, Pete. Okay, I was just finishing while I read that, but so exciting stuff again this week. Michael's Adventures hit 1,000 subscribers, and the Stock Explorer hit 1,000 subscribers. Makeup Mom and Son has a birthday coming up, and Scratch and PPA has a very special, different kind of video for us this Tuesday. So I hope everybody will keep up with those things, and we will see you again tomorrow in Tuber Chat. Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.